Hi, all memory superheroes. This lesson is for memory recall aspirants who want to learn faster and want to achieve maximum in their life by keeping all their limitations behind. I am your memory coach, CD. Today on the segment Wisdom from the Experts, we have on the show Mercilyn. Mercilyn is a personal finance enthusiast and a financial coach. She's also a chartered accountant who worked for two big four accounting firms as an external auditor for a combined 17 years, first as a trainee and then as a qualified professional, working in Zimbabwe, Malawi, USA and Namibia. Throughout her career, she coached people as part of her day-to-day duties. She was born in Zimbabwe and settled in Namibia. As an immigrant, she felt vulnerable if she should fall into financial trouble away from her homeland and close family. She always kept a detailed budget from early on in her career, but from 2013 is the year which actually she got a breakthrough. She started learning how to manage her money better through listening to personal finance podcast, reading every article on personal finance. She came across and applying this to her own life. She soon became very passionate about it and started to realize how, like many, she was not taught much about personal finance growing up, as well as how much of our emotions and values guide how we spend our money. Through this, she was able to save a 12-month emergency fund and is a debt-free aside from her mortgage. Recently, she made the decision to start sharing her growing knowledge and experience through sharing personal finance principles and financial coaching through her brand, Fin Powered Living. Her brand is Fin Powered Living. She aims to help people manage their money to create peace and mind and independence for their future. So with this, let's welcome Mercilyn on the show. Welcome, Mercilyn. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome to the show. And the format of this show is I'm going to ask you some questions about your journey, and will help to our listeners as well as the viewers how they can be more debt in their life. They'll be more debt free and they'll be enjoying life with abundance with a lot of money. So, are you ready with the questions? Can we start with our questions?
Yes, I'm ready. We can start.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So here's the first question. What's one thing you wished you had known when you began your career? Means when you started your career, if you would have known this thing, your career could have been at a better place, at some other height. What could that one thing would be? Yeah.
At the beginning of my career, I wish I had known that it's really important to find work that not only you're good at, but something that you actually enjoy. Because when you are working 5 days out of a 7-day week, that means you spend most of your life when you are awake at your job. And it's really miserable if you are doing something that you don't find fulfilling. Of which when I started my career, of which when I started my career, I didn't actually know what I wanted. I just was told that, the chartered accountancy profession was prestigious and it was financially rewarding, and all my friends were doing it really. So then I just also did it, but I didn't really know if it's what I wanted. Fortunately, as I was in there, I fell in love with, I'd always loved numbers. So the number side of the job is something that really resonated with me, and it has helped to fuel the passion that I have.
Good, good. So you were doing something, but you are not passionate about that. If you would have been passionate about that, you would have been at some better place, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the second question is, what is your biggest failure? Or I should say, what is your biggest learning? And what did you learn from it in the whole journey?
My biggest learning is, I think, coming back to what I said, that knowing your passion. So what I did is straight after high school, I went and joined the accounting firm to begin my traineeship. And in so doing, I then studied for my university degree part-time. So I'd spend the whole day at work. Then after hours and on weekends is when I would study. That meant I missed the university experience of being around my peers and having fun and getting to learn life without the extra responsibility of having a full-time job. And that was a big learning that I had, that whilst it's good to already start on your journey, it's good to take the time to grow up and discover who you are, discover what makes you tick without yet already jumping into those personal responsibilities. And even more so, where possible, actually to try out different things. Go for personality assessments, psychometric tests if possible, so that you can get to distinguish not only what you are good at, but what you are good at and what you enjoy. Because you can do something that you're good at, but you don't enjoy it. So I would have also tried to interact with people in different professions and got to have a first-hand view of what it's like to do these fancy things, so that I can make a more informed decision.
Very true. If you have your psychometric test before starting something, some new journey, you will definitely will be in better position to decide what you want to do. And I agree with that. Completely agree.
Yeah.
The third question is, what advice would you give someone if someone want to pursue a career like yours? What advice would you give wanting to pursue if he is want to pursue a career similar to you? Means the journey will be like yours as a trainee, and then financial goals, and then some difficulties in planning their financials. So what could be that advice you'll give to that person?
The advice I would give to anybody would be to start learning about how to manage their money even from a young age, and to us parents, therefore, to start teaching our children what we have learned about how to manage your money already from a young age. Because it's all fair and good to enter into a high-paying and very financially rewarding profession. But when you are earning that money, if you don't know the wisdom that you must apply, you may find that you can afford a lot of the expensive cars, expensive houses, but actually when you look at the quality of your life, it's not as rich as it looks. Because, for example, many people think, okay, when you are earning a lot of money, then you can afford a lot of things, and then we tend to spend it all. You earn it, you spend it all. And after you've done that, then you are forced to go to work again so that you can earn more, so that you can spend it all again. Yes. And the big learning that I had is that you don't have to spend all the money that you earn, so that because you can have a comfortable life without necessarily buying all the shiny things that are out there. And it means that in a time where if you can't, or if you need to make a career change, like I am now in the process of transitioning from mainstream accountancy into financial coaching, if you are already spending less than what you earn, then you have been saving, then you have something to fall back on and pursue your dreams without having the stress of how are you going to pay your bills, how are you going to educate your children, how are you going to afford your mortgage, and all the rest of it.
Right. If you have a habit of saving, you will be under less stress when you are starting something new. Agreed. Very true.
Yes. And also those savings are actually the funds that you can then use to start to build up real wealth and eventually be at a position that you can afford to live the life that you want without having to go to work.
Right. Yes. The fourth question is, what are the best resources? You had a big journey, so you will have some good resources also. What are those best resources that have helped you along the way in the whole journey? What was some resources which you'll admire, or you'll say that these resources have make your life more easier?
Having coaches and mentors. in life, people who are already doing what it is that I am aspiring to do. So in my job as an accountant, it was already set up that everyone is assigned a mentor and a coach who you can discuss your career path and your progression with, and applying that even outside of the workplace. I've been fortunate to come across the advice that, you know, you must surround yourself with the people who are doing better than what you are doing at whatever you are pursuing. They say that we are the total of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. And we are fortunate also nowadays that we have access to people you might not meet in person, who might not even ever know you, but who may be successful in what you are doing. So, for example, if you wanted to be a famous talk show host and you admire, you want to learn from Oprah Winfrey, for example, you can access her through watching her shows, through her Facebook page, interviews she does, masterclasses she runs, that kind of thing. Likewise, if you can find people and learn from them and hear from them online without ever meeting them. But if you do, even better, fortunate for you. So that is the first one. And then the second one for me is having a budget. I learned early on in life to create a budget that was realistic according to how I actually spent my money. And then in addition to that, every time I spent money, fortunately, I'm quite fanatic. Every time I spent money, I came back home, updated my budget and compared it with what I had actually done. And that helped me to always stay focused and aware of how I was doing compared to my goals. And it's one of the biggest things that enabled me to save this 12-month emergency fund that that you mentioned. I had a big Excel spreadsheet, but nowadays also there are multiple websites and apps that people can use to do exactly that.
Agreed. Yeah. So you have followed right peoples. You have actually got mentored with your what we call in India as gurus or your coaches, and you have planned your budget well. So you are here, and those are your best resources, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So fifth question: who are the 3 people? There will be a big list of people who would have helped you in your journey. But then, if you have to name only 3 people, who are the 3 people who have been the most influential to you, whom you can say that this person has changed my life or has brought the breakthrough I was wanted and I was looking for? Who are those 3 people? Yeah.
The 3 people would be my mother, my husband, and the host of a money management podcast that I follow. Her name is Paula Pant. And if I were to start with my mother was a very sincere person. And she was also a very wise lady. So I found that growing up under her guidance, she encouraged me to do the best that I could and reach for the highest level of achievement that I can. She would always guide me. If she didn't know what to do, she would connect me to the people who did, so that I can get the advice that I wanted. She was also just authentically really loving, and she made it really clear to me that, you know, your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth is grounded on knowing that you are valuable. So it's something that I also like to share with people, to that knowledge and that confidence that you are valuable and you are worthy where you are. My husband, because he introduced me to new things, I had a limited view of life based on my upbringing. That with people like me, I grew up a humble upbringing, and for example, we growing up, we didn't think that we can go on holidays. It's only rich people who went on
Right,
holidays.
right, yeah.
Then I met him, and he was also not a rich guy, but he's the first guy who taught me that, oh, you can save
Yes,
money to
yeah.
go on a holiday. And together we did that, took our first holiday. Likewise, with a lot of other things that even he had not had, if he set his mind on something, he would say, let's try it, let's do it. And we did. So he's a big supporter of mine, a pioneer in many things, and he's given me the courage to try things I wouldn't otherwise try.
Okay.
Okay. And then Paula Pant is actually one of many. Her podcast is called Afford Anything, and she's a journalist by profession. Whatever topic she presents, she fosters critical thinking. So she dives deep and does extensive research into whatever topic that she is raising, and then she asks really insightful and deep questions to her podcast guests. So I really admired that. In addition to that, you can hear that she's authentic. She believes in what she is doing, and she always provides a very detailed recap of the topic that we are discussing. She herself also wasn't worked in a job that is not very high paying, but like me, she had a story of saving quite extensively, to the point that through her saving, she was able to buy, I think she owns 7, if not 8 properties now, and she can afford to live on the income that she earns from those properties, and is also now teaching people how to invest in real estate, amongst other things. So it was a great inspiration to me that you don't have to be rich, you don't have to earn a lot of money to be able to impact people and to establish an independent life.
Right. So your mother has given you values, your husband has made you enjoy your life, and your mentor or someone who started following, or your hero or your role model, has given you your meaning of life, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so with this, the sixth question is, what is the one common myth? We all know there are a lot of myths when we start a journey. So if you have to bust one myth, so what's one common myth about your profession or field that you want to debunk, that this myth does not exist? There's no thing like this. So what that myth could be, you want to share with us? Yeah.
I think one myth that I would want to bust is that for you to do well in life, you have to work all the time, and nothing else matters as long as you are working so that you can earn those big bucks.
Right.
And when you are applying principles, for starters, of just yes, maximize how much you earn, but also at the same time spend less than you earn and control what you earn, then for you to be able to afford your life, you don't have to always work, because you can then invest that extra that is left over, so that you can have time then to do the things that you love, to establish relationships with your family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you cannot be completely or 24 hours working person. You could be a 4 hour per day working person, or at least 40 hours per week working person. Then also you can enjoy your life as well as your work balance. You can make that balance. And that balance is actually quite necessary. And this, Corona has actually taught us how to take care of your loved one as well as your job. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And in any case, if you die, people will not remember how long you spent at work, away from everybody, missing you. They will remember the times that you spent together. So it's important to set up your life so that you can do that.
Agree. Yeah, so if our listener and viewers want to connect with you, what is the place where they can connect with you? Where can they find you online, or where they can get your services? If you have to tell us.
The best place to find me online is on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Fin Powered Living.
Okay.
So you can connect with me there.
Great. Okay. So do you have any website, or do you share any LinkedIn page also with us, so that our viewers can find you there also?
I can share with you the Facebook page. Like I said, my website is under construction.
Great.
So at this point, it's not yet available. Yes.
Okay.
But I also am running a savings challenge for the whole of the 2021 year.
That's interesting.
Which which is also connected to on my Facebook page. You can find that. It's called the 100 Envelope Savings Challenge with Fin Powered Living. Where we just basically, you take 100 envelopes, number them 1 to 100, and then you shuffle them up. Every week you randomly pick 2, and then you put money that is equivalent to the number written on that envelope. So if you pick envelope 12 and envelope 50, you put $12 in envelope 12, and you put $50 in envelope 50. And at the end of the year, you will have saved $5,050 in whatever currency. Yeah.
So you have to choose that envelope blindfolded, or you have to choose it at random?
You can choose it at random, or blindfolded, whichever. If it's more fun for you to blindfold, then yes.
Yeah. Great. So with this, we have reached to the last question. What can change in your life? What change could be in your life if you become completely free from all the limiting beliefs? There's nothing which is limiting you to live your life. How your life could be if you're completely free from those limiting beliefs? Yeah.
If I was free from those limiting beliefs, I think I would be a much calmer person. Because I've spent a lot of time worrying about how am I going to prove that I am as good at what I am as I actually am. So to just be confident in myself and be authentic in the way that I present myself, I think I would have that peace of mind and would connect with the right people actually in the best way.
Right. Agree. So you meditate, or you won't meditate? Means that's a common thing people are doing a lot. So do you meditate anytime?
Actually, no, but I do pray.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody has their own way to do that. Yeah.
Yes. So I think if that can be considered meditation, then
yes.
Yeah.
If
that's
you're engaging with the God or the supreme power whom you believe, that is a kind of meditation. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mercilyn. So with this, we have reached to the end of this interview. And thank you very much for being my guest and sharing the wisdom with our listeners as well as viewers. Thank you very much. Do you want to add something? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. Most welcome.